and I mean, and it's definitely something that needs to happen because I'm telling you off top. Before we even get started or anything and whatnot, I want to show YouTube land and talk about these. These will be on all types of telephone poles and outside of places.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The Mr. Know-It-All podcast stickers, they're a little small, but hey, guess what? You know what I'm saying? If you got to squint to see them, you got to squint to see them. That's life. You know what I'm saying? That's you know, shit, man. You know, it is what it is. But yes, I'm starting it, Shannon. I'm already recording. Thank you. You know that why? And I tell them all the time. I'm like, look. From the time period that I'm starting and getting shit done, like just don't yell down the steps. I make a whole bunch of noise, but you know. So y'all can see a little bit behind the podcast scenes. But check this out though.
Y'all got my message that it's not top 5 today, it's top 10.
Oh yeah, I got it. I wrote down a bunch of stuff. We'll talk about that too.
Cause I listed out a top 5 and I'm like, yo, I forgot about this one. And I was like, yo, I was like,
it's too many.
It's too many.
It's too many.
And they all mean different things, so it's gotta be
absolutely
those particular ones because they all are in different time frames of our lives.
Yep. Yeah. But without further ado.
It's about that time.
It's about that time.
Poppin'.
Ah, hell. I am emotionally not ready for that.
Y'all hear? Y'all can hear that, right?
Like.
Funny thing, I've been listening to this song my whole life.
Absolutely.
Like when I was 8, 9 years old, I had the biggest crush on Sam Cooke before I even knew that he was gone.
Talk about crushes on Sam Cooke. Damn.
But it wasn't until when I actually started seeing shit happen to us. That I mean, yes, I watched all the Blake documentaries. What's the one that we all had to watch that came on Channel 12 all the time? The Blake documentary about the civil rights movement.
Hold on, let me let this rock for 1 second. Oh yes, it is. I paused y'all's, but I had to let mine play a little bit longer. Oh man, I had to. Welcome back.
Welcome back
to a rejuvenated, feeling well, feeling strong, feeling good.
Hey, yo, but you know what? We still got to play defense. We on the 3-4 today with it.
No, absolutely.
We on the 3-4 with it.
You always got to watch your blind sides. Check it out.
The 34th episode.
To episode 34 of the Mr. Know-It-All podcast. I am your host, Mr. Know-It-All, a.k.a. Keith Saunders. BKA Michael Voorhees.
What else?
And AKA Haiku if you want to be rapper about
it. Spit hot fire.
Dylan.
Along with my distinguished constituents / co-host. On the Zoom screen to my right, left, whatever you want, whatever. Next to me. Mouth for the South. What's your name?
Next to you. It's your boy Rough Rider, R. Ruffy Hendrix, the general, Mr. I'm going in the blank, period. I am Ruffy Hendrix, the mouth for the South.
Good job. And below us is the lovely, voluptuously hot, because she looks like she's on fire right now. She burning the fuck up because summertime has approached. What's your name again?
Today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Today is KQ.
KQ?
Just KQ.
That's all I got for you.
Just KQ?
Just KQ.
It's a lot with KQ though.
The 102 degree sweating diva at all times. During the summertime. Oh man. I just want to give a shout out though to our Spotify listeners, Apple Podcast listeners, Google Podcast listeners, the Stitcher listeners, Home Team Anchor listeners, and the YouTube viewers. Make sure you get with us Follow us on Instagram at Mr_Know-It-All-Pod on Instagram. Facebook at the Mr. Know-It-All Podcast fan page on Facebook. And please send all your fuckery, duckery, muckery, and sluttery over to Mr. Know-It-All Pod at gmail.com. What's up?
Yo, somebody sent me a joint, yo, to my. I keep forgetting who it was. Somebody
don't
actually
send that shit to the D. Don't send the fucking story to the D.
They sent it to me, yo.
But I'm gonna tell you what you do, bro. When they send it to you, just forward it over to the email. We'll get it. We'll get it. You know what I mean? I just want to make, because sometimes people listen and they just like, I want to say something, but I don't know if I want to send it to somebody email. You know how that goes. So it's all. I don't know why I sounded like that when I said that. My girl voice is fucking terrible today. I don't know what the fuck that was. Why was she so nasally and shit? Like, I don't. Her voice is like nasal.
He was born that Brandon T. Jackson and Big Mama.
Yeah, I know. Dog, stop mentioning Brandon T. Jackson. And
the girls made me watch that last night, yo. Nyla and Chloe made me watch that. They want that.
He's so pissed that he did that role.
That movie was bad.
Yeah, but
that was a
no,
really bad movie.
not even
his
that.
Career.
I don't think it fucked up his career. He's moved
what
on and he's becoming. He left the thing. You got to follow him on Instagram. He's a whole Black Panther militant person right now.
Yeah, because he could not get any more acting gigs. Did you not see the video? Did you not see that video that he posted?
No.
He stated the fact. Listen, he so regrets taking that role. It was an honor to be able to work with Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Because he idolized him. He looked up to him as a comedian. You know, as an actor coming up. But that role, and there's nothing against Martin, but role. Ruined him Hollywood-wise.
Nah.
He has not been able to get an acting gig since.
He ruined himself.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He was kind of on the churn. He was kind of in the industry. What?
Because of how militant he is, you can only be so militant in Hollywood.
That's
true. It's a way that you have to be. And if he's like this now, he's been like this.
No, he wasn't.
Yes,
he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Trust me, he comes from he's a preacher's kid. So what we don't see
about Brandon T. Jackson right now.
What we don't see.
If y'all don't let me start this motherfucking podcast talking about Brandon T. Jackson, y'all having a global battle royal over Brandon T. Jackson.
Ain't nobody battling nothing. I'm just saying, live by your decisions.
You are right. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. You can move. You can move on.
It was actually.
You can do your own production. If ain't nobody, as many people.
You have to have the money in the clock. You have to have the money in the people. He doesn't have either.
Even if you have burned your bridge with somebody else, there's somebody that's probably out there that will see your vision and back you. So if you truly wanted something, if you truly wanted something, you're not going to let the Hollywood machine stop you. It's so many movies I done seen on Prime and Tubu and everything now.
You see they shooting guerrilla style lately? They doing a whole bunch of movies guerrilla style. Like niggas, you think niggas had these movies in the tuck? No, niggas is coming out with their own movies. Like Kevin James got a movie
because they're making their voice heard.
Kevin James. Kevin James.
Yeah.
Kevin James.
Mm-hmm.
Think about, and we can, and this is real crazy funny fact. Kelly, check this out. Check out Kevin James' net worth. Check out Brandon T. Jackson's net worth. They're not going to be comparable.
I can understand it.
Besides the fact of him being white, and he's exactly. So they're not going to. They're not going to be.
Let me tell you something.
That's right.
Especially
you see all these fucking movies, all these black movies that people are making. I just found a damn movie from Kevin Hart. I don't know how long ago this was, but it was something. I mean, it was some bootleg shit, but it got made.
The climate that we living in right now is really, really going to force people to start doing their own thing anyway. And that's the reason why I mentioned that Kevin James thing, because it didn't take a lot of money for him to make that movie. He did a lot of that guerrilla style. You just have to have the people that are willing to do it, and then have the connection.
You got to look at the movies he made prior to fucking with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
After he messed with Adam Sandler.
Sometimes you got to take a step back in order to move forward.
Once you're a part of the crew with Adam Sandler, all his movies got all the same people in it. It's just a different story.
Hey, y'all, guess what, though? Guess what? Let me start.
Chicken butt, go around the corner and look it up. What?
All right. Episode 3, 4. Let's get it popping.
Yeah, I know. Listen, no. So I always started off with this. I'm keep the trend going with the useful fact. Did y'all know that protests have taken place for our recent events in more than 40 countries? 40 countries around the world.
Oh, it's up to 40.
More than
at least one city in every state in America.
Absolutely.
As well as 40 other countries. This has been the biggest protest ever.
Yep, biggest civil rights protest
ever. And I love it.
So when you look it up, though, here's the thing, though. You know me. I'm gonna hit you with a little bit conspiracy theory. So when I looked this up, you know what I mean, just to to try to get around Park Figure, because I knew it was up there. I knew it was in a whole bunch of countries. Right below it, it gave a COVID disclaimer. I'm gonna tell y'all something. You know what I'm saying? Like it pisses me off, because I'm not saying that this situation ain't real and it ain't nothing to fear, but I'm telling you, if you don't think that we're being fed some sort of propaganda, you're wrong. Because I think that we're really, 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 we in the mix. We in the mix, and it's people that's affecting people, and it's all this. If the motherfuckers turn around and tell me that we got 500,000 new cases, I'm gonna be like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? And then, you know what I mean, you'll turn around and be like, oh, but 490,000 of them survived, so it wasn't really nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just have a problem. You ain't really making my point too well. Keep coughing like that, my nigga. Yeah, I'm trying to have a, you know what I mean?
My COVID results came back negative.
Shit, man. You're running over the bullshit right now. Your ass keep coughing. Put your mic on mute, nigga. God damn.
Damn white peaches, man.
Hacking up a lung over there and whatnot.
Damn white peaches, man. Hey, but no, on that same token though, did you peep in Florida? Their numbers jumped over 1,000, bro, in like 2 days over the weekend.
It just makes me mad. I don't really see too many niggas moving straight from the rioting and straight from the protesting and going to a testing site. So how the fuck do they know this?
They was a part of the beginning of the protest. They started coughing out this. So it was like,
is that what it was?
Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Like, hold up, dude. Like, your mask is wet from the inside, dude. You might want to get checked.
And who made this count? That's what I'm saying. Like, somebody was walking through there with a testing kit? Like,
no, that's
as long as you're protesting social injustice, we might as well test you for COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
My thing is, the responsible people that went out and actually protested.
Yes.
If it was me, I definitely go get tested the next day because I'm around too many people.
Damn right.
Understood.
You know, so if you have somebody that
it takes days in order for it to tell.
No,
it takes days to tell. Yeah, it does. You have to have it. It takes at least 3 to 4 days in order.
They are testing. The testing is getting quicker. I'm trying to told you,
dude.
My girlfriend is a nurse and she's testing people.
Hey. Technology is evolving every goddamn day. And a lot of this shit they already got, they just don't tell us about. They keep this stuff hidden. You know what I mean? It's don't ask, don't tell. All right? We remember, and this is just a quick step. When we were in high school,
right,
or going to college, you remember the AIDS test took you, a week to come back. Now you get those responses back from the clinic. Because the last time I went and got mine done from the clinic, had my results the next day. So come on.
How long they take to come back now? I don't know. How long the AIDS test can take?
You get it back in the clinic. You get it back in the clinic in 24 hours.
I think you can get it back. Yeah.
Less than 24 hours, bro.
You can get it back because back in the day, it used to be at least
I think 2 weeks.
A 2 week turnaround.
2 weeks.
But
back in the day, remember when he was in high school where the nigga would never go, he would just send his girl to go. And if she was cool, y'all was cool.
That don't mean anything because you would have to get tested.
Because that shit could be dormant in hell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You would still have to get tested 6 months later.
Don't make me. I'm just being an asshole. Everybody, please go get tested. Get your tests.
Yes, please.
Don't be a dickhead.
If you've been in any, even if you haven't been in what you feel as if a questionable situation or area, like I think it's just. For the safety of yourself, your family members, your friends, those who you care about, and others. You know what I mean? Just be smart, like, because
Nigga,
this shit is real.
Oh, nigga, you only getting tested if you've been in a questionable area. I ain't never heard of niggas. I don't know too many pastors.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? That's living right. That's going to go get the test. I'm just saying.
Hold up. The one pastor who was hosting the test was like, all right, well, let me just go ahead and take it for good faith. I don't think I got it anyway. And boom, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shouts out to that pastor. He was smart. He was smart as ever doing that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got a whole bunch of new sound effects. Y'all gonna be ready. Be ready for the whirlwind.
Let's get it.
Be ready for this. Be ready for the whirlwind. But all right, I wanted to talk about something. Get ready, because this might set them on fire.
Let's go. You heard the bit.
Right.
Coming.
Get the alarm ready. So listen to this, right? I have a question, and it's harkening back to everything that we're going through. We dealt with some shit, and you know what I mean, especially I'm outside, so I'm around people a lot. And I want to talk about for a second the uncomfortability of white America. And why the fuck don't they want to talk about this shit? Or
here's the thing, some do.
No, some do. No.
You about to make me hit the bowl.
All right, so let's move our allies to the side for a second, because your allies stand with you, and you know what I'm saying? What goes to show does not need to be said. We understand that. They get it. We get it. They move how we move. They understand, and if they need more understanding, they ask. They're comfortable in that way. Let's talk about the ones that say nothing and just act as if that I ain't never seen a bunch of motherfuckers that see that everything's on fire behind them, but just keep walking away from the explosion like they fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando.
I got one for you. Did y'all see that video I sent y'all, the white girl checking her dad?
Oh no, I couldn't even watch all of that.
And he didn't even know that he was being videoed.
Time out. You fucking up the topic.
I thought, listen, hey, you sparked the fire. You sparked the fire though. But you sparked the fire.
The wrong fire. That's not what we're talking about. He said, put aside the people that are standing with us.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk about the people that's not standing with us.
Hold on, one at a time. I got that video on deck, so that's the reason why I say don't go. Let's not.
I can't even listen to all of it.
I know we're not gonna listen to all of it because I'm about to fuck around and throw my phone.
I watched
I do want y'all to hear
10 seconds of her checking her dad, and I was like,
I want y'all to hear the fuckery and ignorance that comes out of this little girl, that comes out of this little girl's parents' mouth. But let's just get back to what I was saying before, because in about 5 minutes I am going to play that video.
I'm sorry. I'm still
no. My fault. I try to surprise y'all niggas.
I forgot to put the lighter fluid on. I forgot to put the lighter fluid on first. I was supposed to put the lighter fluid on first. The charcoal in there. I forgot to throw the lighter fluid on. I was just trying to light the charcoal. I apologize, Kel.
No. That's partially my fault too, because I should have told y'all about that in pre-production.
I knew. You didn't have to tell me. I already knew.
Right. But all right, so
that's why when you start that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Kelly, let me ask you. So when we were talking about it, when I just said something, you said something that was very, 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 very important to the entire topic of this conversation. You said what? It doesn't what?
It doesn't affect them.
Speaking to the mic. Lift your head up.
It doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect them at all.
You're right.
It doesn't affect them at all. I actually, the text message, remember I read a text message last week from a Caucasian friend of mine. So we've been talking through the whole week. I have another, he was actually a coworker. I have another coworker that's married to a black man and they have a biracial child. So I threw that letter at her to get her point of view. She when I say she from middle country America, that's where she's from. Okay.
And this is a white girl.
This is a white girl married to a black man. And have a beautiful son. Right. And
why is David not on?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought David was gonna be on today. Anyway, so just she was like, it semi bothered her. What he said, because he was like, I don't feel like they're trying to understand. And for a while, she thought it was a woman. I was like, this is actually a man that we both know. And she was like, oh, okay. But she was like, still, I'm bothered that, you know, it almost like he doesn't, like there's a wall for him to get the info.
Is it fair to say in life that just in general that we have an issue, just as people have an issue with not involving things that don't concern us? Just in general. Forget if it's racism.
This I'll say I think it's an American thing.
Really? Explain.
I think it's an American thing because we not so much snitches get stitches, but I think it's beyond that because white people have been, you know, historically known to take care of white people.
So what you gonna say, Rob?
I want to say that depends, all right? And I can say this because I grew up in the dirty South, Florida. Right. Although also the islands and Nassau, Bahamas. But we all as children remember that one nosy ass neighbor on our block.
Right.
Everybody had a nosy ass neighbor on their block.
That's true.
Actually, usually the older women on the blocks usually knew every goddamn thing that every goddamn person was doing.
That's
correct.
True. Yeah,
they talked amongst themselves.
But they didn't know what they do to help somebody.
Oh.
You know what they did do? Biggie rapped about it. They called the police when they was out there hustling.
They did. They called They called the police. They called the police. They did.
They called the police when he was hustling. But when I just watched this show called A Crime to Remember, and I've seen it on Unsolved Mysteries as well. A woman, I want to say Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Right.
60s, early 70s.
Right.
Gets attacked on the street, 2:00 in the morning.
Right.
Wakes up everybody. Every night, she's screaming for somebody to call help.
Right.
All the neighbors are looking and watching. They see this happening. And none of them are calling because they think somebody else is calling.
Yeah, I've heard of that before. That's something. Remember back in the day, we used to there was an experiment, even back in elementary school, that we used to do with something like that. It was almost like a whisper down the lane type deal, because basically what it was saying was they would say, we whisper down the lane, and first they would test you to say, okay, whisper down the lane and see if the message is the same as it was when you first started. Okay. Then it would be always fucked up by the time. Way fucked up. Right. So then they did another experiment. They said, okay, whisper it to every other person. And then they were like, well, why are we doing that? Just whisper it to every other person. By the time
because more people are getting the message.
Right. By the time
it'll still be altered, but not as bad.
Exactly. Then they said, okay, now whisper it from like each corner of the classroom. And as they did it, fewer and fewer people got it. And then what happened was they were looking at it and saying, hey, guess what? Even if you told one or two people, they got it. But sooner or later, the few people were able to interpret the message because you weren't giving it to anybody.
Right.
Are you frozen?
I'm frozen? I'm not frozen. I can see you moving.
You're moving, yeah.
I see everybody.
My joint must have went unstable. Just let me know when it's because both y'all screens are froze up. You was flipping.
Well, the good thing about it is that because I'm recording,
you got it.
It'll just be reflection, you know what I mean, of whatever's going on, you know what I mean, with that. But that's my thing is that I don't even aside from what we were just talking about with the experiments and all that. Is it more because they don't want to concern them, or is it because more they don't want to rock the boat? Because what happens is that I think that white women are that way.
Both.
White women are that way now because you're getting called Karen. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? Because
we just had another Karen. We just had another Karen. I just sent you another video of another Karen. You ain't see the Karen thing?
Not for long.
What
they're doing in New York, because he's passing a law. What he's doing in New York is definitely going to have to go nationwide. Calling somebody because they're black is going to be a criminal offense.
Ooh, well, that's a hell of a, and I agree with that. That keeps down on the bullshit calls, and you know what I mean. against the discrimination and all that shit. You know
got
what I'm saying?
police coming out for what? Because there's a black man walking down the street looking at birds.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We like birds. Why can't we like birds?
That's true.
Yeah. That's.
I like a motherfucking bird. I like to see tweet.
I want to watch birds too. Exactly.
I want to be calm and serene walking in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? How about being able to fucking just walk in the park?
Can I just walk in the park?
You would think
that's
that,
why
right?
I said I thought yesterday I was so upset. I was so flustered. I had so many thoughts. Like the last couple of days, I have just straight been Prime, Hulu, Netflix.
Did you watch Animaniacs? No,
not yet.
See,
I don't need to watch it. I watched it. I grew up watching it. They're not black.
I want you to
they're not black.
I'm on like episode 8.
I'm not talking about that right now.
I'm on episode 8. They're black.
No, we're not talking about Animaniacs. We're not talking about Animaniacs.
And it's like
we'll get to them later on.
Yeah. I've had to zone out
and
just watch the. I mean, even if I'm watching a historic documentary about the civil rights movement, I just had to watch anything outside of what's been on the news, what's been on CNN, because my thoughts have been so crazed with everything that's going on. And then last night I saw this picture, and I think it really just set me off somewhat, because the lady was like, the poster said, I'm not an angry black woman.
Right.
I'm a woke black woman. And so many things popped in my head is because when I go to work, I've worked in the company I work for, technically, this is my 21st year.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I've been in that corporate world 21 years.
Right.
And you can never just be a black woman.
No.
I was so nervous the first time I walked in to work with my coils. The first time I did it.
Right.
I was more nervous about walking into work with my coils than I was when I shaved my head.
Where do you think this lack of understanding stems from? What is it? Is it backlash? Is it anything? Because I'm about to play this video in a second, but I want y'all to, because I really want to understand, because I look at the situation with Drew Brees. The fuck is that about? I look at Roger Goodell backpedaling and whatnot.
Oh my God! Can he just get fired already?
What about Jake?
He just need to retire and let Cap take his position.
The rookie quarterback that's
Jake Fromm.
Jake.
Jake Fromm. See, my thing is that I think the idea comes from people want to say what they want to say. It's just that the issue is that you don't know how to say what it is that you want to say without coming off.
You've never taken the time to inform yourself on what the real issue is.
And that's a bigger problem. That's a bigger problem too, because people just feel the way that they feel. They say, "Oh, it's the American flag," and I feel the same thing. Y'all see my my little segment on Instagram now called Know That, and you know what I mean, I've been posting videos lately, just talking about shit.
I had to reshare that.
Yeah. So my thing is that me putting that up there, I was basically saying, I'm like, yo, like Drew Brees, you stupid as shit, because you're really not, I'm doing it for laughs, but I'm really being serious, because I'm saying, like, listen, the shit that you putting out there, your reasoning is off.
That big ass head, you ain't got common sense.
Exactly. Your reasoning.
That big ass head, and you ain't got common sense. That's the easiest way of breaking it the fuck down. No,
you're right about that, and that's the whole point. I be trying to really understand, like, what was you thinking when you brought up something that had that you brought
nothing to do with anything? No one has been talking about the flag.
Nobody. So what? No one has been talking. If you said that,
he been wanting to say it
5 years ago when Cap started this.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. But now I feel like he said that to try to put himself in a situation to become relevant, because at this point, ain't nobody thinking about Drew Brees. Look, hell, ain't nobody thinking about Malcolm Jenkins. Ain't nobody thinking about football.
Right.
Nah, niggas is
we
thinking about
more
football.
concerned.
I'm thinking about football.
I'm not.
Motherfuckers is itching for football.
I need football.
Listen, basketball season
about
to spark back up and finish up. Hell yeah, man. We need
sports in our lives, Kelly. I'm sorry. I'm weak. I ain't gonna hold you.
And I love my Eagles. Y'all know I do. I won't watch a game this year.
What?
I won't.
All right, so here's the deal. Here's the deal.
No, we're not gonna get that. I'm sorry. Can we get back to the initial point? I'm sorry.
No. But I just want to say one thing. Okay. Roger Goodell is really talking about. What he's saying is he's going to champion getting Colin Kaepernick a job. Colin Kaepernick will have a job.
Colin Kaepernick needs his job. How about that?
Ooh, shit.
How about that?
Hold on. Let me write that down. Colin needs to be commissioner. Wow. I'm really writing that down.
Here's the thing.
Love that idea, Kelly. Love that idea. That was a great fucking idea.
The moment Goodell went and said what he said,
yeah,
I said, fuck you. Quit. That's what I want.
That's why you're not watching football. That's why you're not. Okay.
Unfortunately, though, Kelly, the 32 owners of the NFL teams actually vote him in, and as long as he panders and dick sucks, he'll keep having his job. He'll keep getting $43 million a year because of what it is. Here's the deal, though: the owners will never change it because if you put somebody like Kaepernick in charge, the hatred is so real out there. You don't understand how deep the situation goes.
But here's
the people that hate, but NFL would lose money because people are so against the real. Like it's crazy. No, they're gone. You're right about them losing money. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that you'll start to see blatant shit. People, I wouldn't be surprised if all the white players moved over to like the XFL or something like that, and then people will support them.
That's what I want.
Oh my God.
That's what I want. I want it. You know why?
I don't want that type of divisiveness.
No,
I don't want that type of divisiveness.
Do you see how it's not just a civil rights movement in Philadelphia? It's not just a civil rights movement in New York. It's a civil rights movement in the United States.
Absolutely.
Civil rights movement in the whole world. That is the only way the NFL is going to change. It's going to have to. The whole thing is going to have to be flushed and redone. Just like I said, I was watching that movie Moneyball, and basically how it's a true story. The way he started picking his players has changed the way the whole NBL functions and works.
MLB.
It has to be somewhere. It has to be blown up from inside and reconstructed.
No, I understood.
With that being the case, I mean,
hell, even if he doesn't step down or retire, he needs to at least have kept as a what's the name? I can't even get the word.
A constituent.
No, not a constituent.
Like a vice president, a vice GM.
A counselor. A counselor.
Mm.
So you know how the president has people that he goes to get information and guidance or whatever.
Not this president. This nigga's a moron.
Well,
he don't go to nobody.
First of all, we don't have a president right now, so I don't know what you're talking about.
He goes in the bathroom and gets on Twitter.
But you know how people
the shit that we get
in higher roles. You have people that you go to.
I can't think of the word. I know exactly
information. I can't get the word right.
That's why I open my mouth.
I know what you're talking about.
Right. So you have the advisor. So even if you hire him to be an NFL advisor,
right.
I can get with that. But something has to be done.
Cap hates his ass, and the reason why is that because it's been blatantly so. And I don't even think we won't get on this topic, but it makes sense. It was blatantly so at a certain point that he was basically saying, Cap, fuck you. Like, people don't, you are hurting our bottom line, and people are not standing with you anyway. And I'm white, and I really don't care about police brutality, so I don't really give a fuck. And it was evident. Everything that he was doing, he tried to blackball him. This motherfucker tried to set up a team meeting and have him sign a fucking contract to say, guess what? If something, it was basically a blackball contract that this is your opportunity, and if for any reason you are hurt here, you can never sue us again. This is like, come on, you playing. This is the whole thing. Don't play dirty chess. And then when it's checkmate, you're done. Start apologizing for even bringing the game up. My nigga, you've been playing dirty from the rip. So now your back is against the wall.
So when you get found out, when your dirt is found out,
when the light shines on
you can't say, "Oops, well, look at that."
But ain't that some shit? All these backpedaling motherfuckers, and that's why I brought this topic up, because if it's not the understanding, is it not understanding, or is it just I don't give a fuck? And I think it's more the fact that I don't give a fuck. What happens is that they try to find understanding after you being called out. That's the issue, y'all. That's what it is.
If it was just some dude off the street, I would say it's somebody that didn't understand. For Goodell,
right?
I think he understood, didn't care, because the money it doesn't affect his money.
Doesn't affect his life.
The bottom line,
doesn't affect his life.
Everybody's bottom line is affected, and now that you see these motherfuckers turn coats so fucking fast, they turn coats so fast. It blows my mind when you start talking about money being taken out of nigga pocket. Oh wow!
Do you see how fast everybody wakes up?
Oh my god, the wake up be crazy, like crazy, like to the point where is that you would think ain't a nigga had a nerve to ask if he could come out and march with some of the players. These niggas made. You see the montage that the NFL players made? Did you see that?
No.
That was you have to watch it when you get a chance. Every big player in the league, from Odell Beckham to fucking Baby Huey and you know who Baby Huey is? Fucking,
no.
Zeke Elliott. To all these top-notch players. Don't laugh. I hate that. I hate the fucking Cowboys. Even with racial injustice going on, like honestly, dude, if you told me that the Dallas Cowboys were the cause of all this shit, I'm like, yeah, I knew something's up. You know what I'm saying?
I tweeted I tweeted Drew Brees. Because
I see that.
It's a million tweets. Who knows if he got mine?
Right.
But my whole question was, and this was before he issued the apology, was how do you think you're supposed to go into that locker room and lead your team now?
Nigga, you're not. That's the whole point.
With that one statement, instead of just keeping your mouth shut and your eyes and your ears open, you want to go rapping about something you don't know. That's like me going to talk to you about prostate cancer.
Right. Or like you talking to him about throwing a 90-yard pass. Like
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What the fuck? Like, what you call it? But so let me play something that I did real quick and whatnot. For those that don't follow me on Instagram, I'm not even tooting my own horn. I just felt like I had a good point when I said this shit.
Right.
Mr. Know-It-All. And I know one thing. The New Orleans Saints are not winning the Super Bowl this year.
Hell no.
You about as dumb as Roger Goodell or the Colin Kaepernick route. I don't respect nobody that kneel for the flag. Now look at you, backpedaling like you ain't got no blockers. But I knew something was up. Over the past 4 years, things haven't been going right for you. 2017, Minneapolis Miracle. Coincidence? I think not. 2018, that's interference game. 2019, you lose to the Minnesota Vikings again. The football gods hate you. And now everybody else does too. Who that? Know that.
The reason why I put that up, I mean, like I said, I've been doing it, doing these little short videos or whatnot lately on it, just to kind of give some personality and life to everything that we.
It's entertainment, but it's truthful.
But I mean, and that was the whole thing, because when you start to, let me tell you something. The one thing that I have realized about a whole lot of shit, And it's a belief factor. And we were talking a little bit about, belief and stuff like that before we even got on here. But regardless of what religion you are, you know what I mean? Whether you think karma comes in one way or not, sometimes your train of thought leads to the fuckery in your life. You know what I'm saying? Your train of thought, like even the way you think, you may not even express it. Your train of thought just kind of like moves in a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
I got a good one for you. Ow. I got a good statement that goes with that.
Right.
Everything you think does not have to come out your mouth.
Ding, 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 ding. But
every single thing that comes to your forehead does not have to come out your mouth.
Right. You're absolutely right.
My problem has always been that people take my kindness for weakness, one. But I've taken the point in my life to stop and think about what I say because of how it may affect somebody else.
Bazinga.
Now, I can't say that everyone has taken care of how they speak to me and taken my feelings into consideration, because I would say more often than not, they don't.
Okay.
But I try to. Just because the first thing I think may hurt your feelings.
Right.
So I may want to reword how I say it so I get my point across of what I'm trying to say to you, but you don't take it so hard that it's internalized and you have a bad taste in your mouth.
Choosing your words carefully, and when you do that,
choosing your words carefully.
When you do that, do you feel as if that you get it? Do you feel like you do a good job when you do that?
Some people.
Or do you have to say,
yes, I'm sure, bitch.
Shut the fuck up.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's how I really feel.
Right, but no, that's what I'm saying. So, to be honest with you, I can understand all that. I can understand all that. It's just because of the simple fact that certain people need to be, they need to be told.
Some people you have to hurt their feelings in order for them to get.
Why do I have to explain to you what I feel like is wrong to me? Why do I have to keep explaining?
And then why do people have to try to negate your feelings?
Exactly.
Because I feel like this is fucked up. They're your feelings.
The worst thing in the world
they're your feelings.
They're exactly. The worst thing in the world is to say, yo, man, this is really fucking me up. And somebody look at you and say, well, I know it's fucking you up, but nigga, why don't you backtrack for a second and whatnot? If it's not affecting the world, if I'm not talking about killing nobody or hurting nobody, I'm talking about something that has me fucked up. And because it doesn't affect you and you feel like you see a different side of it, you feel like it's going to change my mind. Nah, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Hold up. Before
it's okay to have a discussion,
right?
And you be on the left side of the discussion, and me be on the right side of the discussion. And somewhere we reach a happy medium where maybe we don't agree, but we agree to disagree.
Let me play this real quick.
But the other second is when somebody's trying to just completely change your mind.
This brings up everything that we're saying to the forefront. Let me play this for a second. Hold on.
Yeah, I've seen the people.
Do you know why they're in that position?
I've seen these people.
Do you understand the systematic and historical reason for why they're in that position?
All they want to do is be ghetto.
No.
Yes,
no.
There's good people.
No.
Most of them just want to suck off the system or do something bad like drugs or gangs. And that's all they
have been oppressed. They have not been given the same opportunities you have had.
And there's plenty of black
no, they don't, Dad. And you not recognizing that as an issue is the reason why it's still continuing today.
I see it all over. There's all kinds of successful people that are of color. It doesn't matter what color, brown, what color.
But it's a lot harder for them to get to that position.
It doesn't matter. When they do, they're fine. But there's always filthy animals. And
you're calling people of color animals. You're calling them animals.
I'm talking to you.
Are you kidding me?
You didn't let me finish.
That's not okay. No matter what, that's not okay. No matter what, it's not okay. Racism is not okay. Why do you think that racism is okay?
Oh, that's mine.
Really, I'm gonna look at it.
Then the mom gets it. The mom gets it on. The mom gets on.
Statistics work. You want me to show you videos? Do you want me to show you videos of cops I will do it. Because they can be warped. I'm not giving statistics right now. They can be warped. Personal experiences can't. No, because this is actually putting it into play. When do I need to show you a bunch of videos of cops attacking protesters, peaceful protesters? Listen to this. This is the number. You mean I'm informed and educated? Yes, I am. One-sided informed. Yes. Mom, I was watching political stuff and you said to turn that off because you don't want to hear about it.
I can't. That's enough of that shit. That's enough of that shit. This 15-year-old.
I love that child.
That's the child. When she leaves,
I love her
she
child.
gonna be gone.
Yeah, she's ready to go. That 15-year-old girl is running her parents through the fucking ringer right now.
And she's trying to educate them, and they want to be niggas.
That shit is crazy to me. But you know what it goes to show.
But the fact that a 15-year-old can get it and you couldn't.
Because they don't want to get it.
Neither.
That's the whole thing.
Neither parent.
Some people are just stuck in their ways.
But guess what?
They don't want to. They don't want to understand.
Little Becky got some black friends.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She got some,
and not only did she have some black friends, she had some good black friends.
Right, exactly.
And there's a difference.
What it's about.
It's a difference. She got some good black friends because she's either been in a situation and watched it happen to them,
right,
or it's been explained to her. And that's where the thing is. Like my coworker that I told you emailed me last week, emailed me again. And he's like, look, I want you to know, he's like, I'm just asking questions. He's like, and I love you. And it's because I love you that I'm trying to inform myself, because he has two young sons.
I get it. I understand.
And I wrote on my page a couple of days ago, I was like, I am so grateful that I have friends that are not of my color, that are willing to learn and ask questions. Yeah. I'm also grateful to know who I have to let go. It's called.
They'll let you know.
It's called unfriend and chill. I said, because I don't have time to be bothered. It's someone that some of the stuff that was coming out of her mouth, I was just like,
unbelievable, ain't it?
Like, I can no longer let that pop up on my feed. Oh yes, Facebook is probably going away.
Oh my God!
Not going away soon, but us being on Facebook is probably going away.
Social media, the way that people spring up on social media with all of the fuckery. I have never witnessed it. Motherfucking racist people that are, or even have the train of thought of racist. When you can say, I'm not a racist, but I got black friends, but this shit, these motherfuckers pop up like,
surprise, motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, God damn, I didn't even know you was on that vibe. And they come out of nowhere, and the other ones are silent. Everybody has, like Shannon was telling me about earlier this week, she was talking about, a situation, how she felt with people that she's interacted with. And I'm not, putting them out there. But, situation, people that she's interacted with that are close to her, she don't feel the support. Me, personally, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I am surrounded by over 50 white people every day that I interact with at my job. And not like, there's only a couple of them that I've talked to about this. And like I was telling y'all about that situation that happened last week, that got around. I wasn't the only one that saw that. And at the company, the general manager pulled him to the office. But this is the thing. Not one of these fucking managers has come up to us and asked us how we're doing. Some of us live in Philadelphia. I work in Jersey, so we live in Philadelphia. They haven't asked. There's like a don't ask, don't tell. They try to smile and wave like it's going to go away. Because it's not their fucking problem.
But that's what I was saying. Just being in, if I had to go to work, let's take COVID out of the situation. Right. If I was at work with this energy, there's 3 offices in my hotel where I work at.
Right.
It's 3 offices. The general manager had one, the assistant general manager had one, and I had one. That's it. Everybody else was in general population.
I'm at this job with this energy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I was Timothy McVeigh, I'd be in that motherfucker like, listen. Like I be like, honestly, but at the end of the day, I'm grown, I'm mature, and I can control my emotions, you know what I'm saying, to a certain point. I don't like you know what was funny, y'all? And I want y'all to, the word ignorance, right? Did you know, like, in the point of, you know how we always used to say people was ignorant back in the day? And we meant rude. We meant rude when we said that, right? We meant rude when we said that you ignorant. Like, nigga, you ignorant. We meant rude.
And it was really not,
right. Okay,
it was really not having no manners. Acting as if you had no manners.
Exactly.
No class.
Exactly.
Or home training.
There you go. Boom.
You ain't got no home training.
You ain't got no home training. Your mama ain't raised right.
So I got two forms. There's actually the third form of what I can say that I mean by ignorance. There's what we thought was rude, that ignorance. There's the not informed ignorance. And then there's the I'm informed, but I'm ignoring ignorance. And that's what I'm talking about. The ignorance. That you're ignoring me.
Right. You're ignoring my.
No, it's on top of the boxes.
Right.
My closet.
You're ignoring me. So therefore, that's what it is.
Right. Well,
you know
one of the
on top of the boxes.
Turn your mic off.
Turn your mic off, bro. What?
But
I thought I did.
Yeah. No, what you call it? But that's like
your black employees are exhausted, scared,
right,
crying in between meetings, putting on a performance, and mentally checking out.
Yeah.
Don't ignore you may not want to discuss.
Oh my gosh. May not
because you really don't. Because you really don't. And for that matter, I really don't.
I would
really don't.
Like prefer not to.
But if you just come and say, "Are you okay?"
That's it.
Are you okay? I will give it to my general manager. My general manager called, but actually before all this happened, but he did call me because just with the COVID and not being able to work and being trapped in the house, and he's known my son since I was he was 2 years old.
Right.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Are you okay? We had like a 15-minute conversation. He's like, but I just wanted to, call and check on you.
Respect that.
We've worked together at 2 different hotels. Long time. The first time I started working with him, my son was 2 years old.
Yep.
Just turning 2. So.
But I think the bottom line is that until white people are comfortable enough with black people, and I'm not saying that, listen, the agreement, the disagreement, or whatnot, I'm gonna feel like the side that I stand on is right.
I just had this epiphany.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel like the side I stand on is right. I'm gonna feel like, and if you're standing against that, then I'm going to feel as if that you're wrong. So my thing is that you need to start, you find a way to find, to be comfortable enough to say, okay, what am I missing? What's your epiphany, Kelly, for you?
My epiphany, and it just hit me. We've accepted the history of this nation because we really have had no choice. Because this is basically where an African American history begins. It begins in the violence that brought us here. They need to accept it. Instead of trying to, okay, it happened, let's get over it. No, okay, it happened, let's talk about it.
Understand why we so fucking mad.
Understand why we so mad. Like, this is the discussion I had last night with
understand why we living how we living, and we're getting what we're getting.
Right. Did you guys see the Indian guy?
This is what y'all set up for us to do. This is how y'all broke us down to be. This is how y'all basically, your own way of prison system, getting the fathers out of the homes to make it an issue. So these single mothers needed your assistance to raise their children, to take care of their families, because you made sure the fathers wasn't there. So you helped to keep us down and keep your foot on our neck. Get your foot off our goddamn necks, your knee off our goddamn necks, your elbow off our goddamn necks. Admit to what y'all fuck around and been doing. See the shit, apologize, and let's do better.
We tried to separate. We had Block Street. Black Wall Street. We tried to do our own thing, and you got jealous.
And burned it.
And you got jealous because even though we came from where we came from, we still succeeded, and you couldn't handle it. So you had to try to crush us, only for us to be bigger and better when we came back.
And now, we shall overcome.
We continue to overcome.
Listen, y'all. But until then,
but it'll make it better if y'all help us.
Period. That's exactly what this is. All right, let's move on. We can talk about that.
Let me give you this one thing.
All right, go ahead.
And then, because this is exactly what we're talking about. This is coming from the mind of a white man.
Okay.
This is what he sees. Now, I put a post up yesterday, with a black fist and said, please understand, this is not just about George Floyd. We're still hurting from Emmett Till.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and I reposted and said, hell, we're still hurting from being ripped from our home,
kidnapped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
kidnapped, held hostage, and put to work.
Right.
He writes, I just read an FB post of yours and very curious, why the attachment to your homeland? That's the first sentence. Why does your culture want to be called African American? The history of slavery predates any colonization of the USA. Africans were enslaved by Africans, then sold. The first slaves in the U.S. were sold by Africans to Spanish and Portuguese explorers who settled in this land, Florida, for example, long before British colonists. Yes, slavery became a mainstay in the British colonies, and even today there is an obvious struggle for inequality. But isn't Africa to blame for enslaving its own people and selling its own people? Even today, slavery can be found in some parts of Africa. The history of slavery in Africa has roots far deeper than those here in the U.S. I hope in my heart of hearts that you do not find my questions offensive, as I am only trying to educate myself more as a human being and have nothing but love and respect for you.
Fuck that guy. How about that? You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day,
fucked up fact though.
Right.
The pyramids in Egypt was built by slaves.
No, listen, I'm not.
But that has nothing to do with.
And that's
we
what
were
I'm
slaves
talking
over
about.
there.
Yeah.
We were over there.
That's not what I'm talking about.
China had slaves. China had slaves.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of countries had slaves. We cannot take. That's not right. But hey, that's what the fuck happened. But y'all motherfuckers uprooted us. Y'all uprooted us.
Dude,
y'all took us a fucking month and a half fucking boat ride that half of us ain't make each trip.
It hurts.
I'm not just
because I do my family tree,
right,
and all my ancestry, and I watch the shows. Who do you think you are? I watch Finding Your Roots because this has always been something I've been interested in.
Right.
I mean, I even had the pleasure and ability before my grandparents passed to have some of these conversations with them to make sure my information was correct. What hurts is that you can look, let's say Courtney Cox, because I know she's been on one of these shows.
Okay.
She can trace her ancestry back across the river.
Right.
Back to
Ireland.
15, 14, no, look, 15, 14, 1300.
Right.
I can trace my roots back to 1863.
Right.
My thing I can say is that on my paternal side, we didn't come from slaves. I can say that. Other people can say, oh, my family started this county. This whole county is by our names in England in 1422.
Right.
But because you uprooted my lineage, you removed me from my culture.
Right.
I don't have a tradition to pass down. You look at Polish people, you look at Ukrainian, you look at Ukrainian people, you look at Japanese people, Chinese people, Russian people. They have traditions. They have been,
I don't want you.
I
understand what you're saying, Kelly. I don't want you to take what. This is the whole thing, and we're gonna move on because, like I said, we can do the whole breakdown of it. I don't want you to take the way that he's moving so personal because you have more of an understanding. What he did.
No. Listen. For him, I don't take it personally.
Right, but what he did right there is what they call strategic racism. What he did was he put the knowledge in play and facts and added the hate and the vitriol that he wanted to behind it. So what happens is that to be able to tell you something, it's almost like I want to inform you of what was at certain points, to not saying, you know what I mean, to basically saying this shouldn't affect you in this way. So at the end of the day, he should say it's bullshit. What it is a strategic, right? It's strategic racism. You know what I'm saying?
Of course it affects me because
right.
I was like, I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
But you know what? Fuck that.
And
I wouldn't even give him that satisfaction. Fuck that. I'd be like, you know what? You got it. Because at the end of the day, when you feed that fire, what it is all somebody wants to do in that realm is to make you feel inferior. And move segue perfectly into the next topic. Is basically the underlying hate that goes along with just this country and the world in general and whatnot. The secret jealousy. Why does the world have an inferiority complex?
Because mankind has always been about who's the best.
You're the best.
Omega.
You're the best.
Yeah, I understand. So, even and this goes back to Cain and Abel, like we spoke on last week. Mm-hmm. Cain was firstborn, but his heart wasn't right.
Right.
His heart wasn't right. While Abel, his heart and everything was right. And he actually looked up to his brother for what his brother did.
Right.
Because he felt like, and Cain was stronger anyway. So he was already built. He was stronger than everything else, but because he felt that his brother, because he felt as if he had more favor with father, he killed him.
Well, civilization started with us. Civilization started with us.
Right.
And then he helped
education started with us.
And kept it going.
Do you think that people consider these things like what y'all was just saying? We're giving a lot of history on that. Do you people think people consider that when they think about just they feel like they don't measure up? I think a lot of this shit is just simple. And we talked about penis envy last week. I just think it's just that like Get Out was a very, very, very good look with that. That when what happened was, you know what I mean? When
they Get Out literally at this point.
Right, exactly. Took the body of the black man because they felt as if that it would make them faster and stronger, and they wanted to be that way, and it was black people that they targeted.
They wanted to move again.
Yeah. So I mean, I just don't.
Everybody want to be black, but don't want to be black.
Right. You don't want the black problems. You want to be black, but you don't want the black problems.
Right.
You want the good black problems.
There was somebody, they've been out in racist on Facebook. So it was one lady that my niece posted who actually had biracial children.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Trust me, I saw that.
I'm like, for real? Okay.
Yep. Because you know why? Because her man gave her
carte blanche.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. The carte blanche in order to move in that fashion. Because he say that all the time. Because I say it all the time. I say there's black people and there's niggas. Ruff, you say that shit all the time. We know what the move is.
Yeah.
But don't you ever get it fucked up and think, white people don't ever get it fucked up and think that shit is something that can be moved in our house.
I have a brother friend who he married a white girl, but before they married, they was dating for a while. Right. And she had a son, and then she was raising her girlfriend's son that passed away. Her girlfriend passed away, and she got custody of her son.
Right.
African American. And I don't know. I guess they were sitting there watching a movie or something. And she said, "Nigga," and he was like, "No." No. And broke up with her that day. Walked out. No, broke up with her. And he told me that, and I was like, I can't fuck with her. I can't. I never met her. I don't care. I don't want you with her. Whatever.
Is this 2 episodes back? We was just talking about the race play.
Hey, yo, no.
Like niggas just like but you know what? That's
what's that? I don't know that girl name, but she's always
Azealia Banks. I already know.
No, not her.
What?
Not her.
Who
not
you
her.
talking about?
Is another one.
Weirdo,
Is another one. But I refuse to learn her name because she's so irrelevant. She definitely, when she looks in the mirror, she hates herself. She's married to a white man.
Candace
And they
Owens.
didn't I say don't say her name?
I'm sorry. Because I've been talking about her ass all fucking weekend.
Right. But
Candace.
somebody posted a picture, like 3 pictures of her and her husband, because she's married to a white guy, of course. And in one of the pictures, I'm looking at it, and I just wrote underneath the picture, he called her nigga all the time.
She fucking hates herself. You understand what I'm saying? She hates herself. Oh, dog head ass bitch. She hates herself. I'm sorry. I'm over.
You always said that with your chest.
Yeah, dog, absolutely.
You always said that with your chest.
Because I am so over giving free passes to people that are of us, but are not of us. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you now.
I hate that shit. I hate it with a passion.
Watch this if you have Prime, watch a documentary on Prime called Spies of Mississippi.
I heard about that.
Because it always be the ones that you got clues.
Listen, I can't. This shit drives me fucking crazy. Just to think at all that somebody basically, you know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is. First and foremost, she funny looking from the rip, so that's just different. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? But you can still get dick. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But all in all, what happens is that for some reason, I don't know if it's the way you were brought up, or if you're just extra sensitive. Maybe you need a therapy. I don't know why. Don't know why you hate your black people the way you do. But this stupid bitch, and I don't give a fuck. And whoever hears it, and when I know people that is cool, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these entertainers are, they still try to show respect. Fuck that respect. When you say that you don't acknowledge or respect a man that died on camera from police brutality, and you have the fucking nerve to say this out loud.
She was supposed to speak somewhere and got canceled.
Fuck her. Honestly.
No, it was just the case. Did y'all?
All y'all, that's just the way that I feel. I don't want y'all. Y'all don't have to feel this way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the Mr. Know-It-All podcast. I'm saying it for me. Keith Son is Mr. Know-It-All. I don't fuck her. That shit is terrible. You know what I'm saying? And she needs to be locked the fuck up somewhere. Because her hatred that she spews actually gives, let's go back to carte blanche, to these motherfuckers that do hatred.
What's that movie Spike Lee did where they kidnapped the dude and cleaned his brain? Eric LaSalle. They kidnapped him.
It was a Spike Lee?
I'm gonna get the name of it and I'll get back to you. But I remember them kidnapping him, and the people around him, they were dressed like Black Panthers, and they were just trying to put the black back in him. He was like a stockbroker or something. You know how you got to be in corporate world.
You talking about? You said Eric LaSalle. I thought you was talking about Kyle from Living Single. That was Living Large, and there was another.
Yeah, no, and he wasn't kidnapped. That was a funny movie.
Right. It was one called True Identity that was kind of the same way too. I don't know. It's just, man, I am. Ruff, you was gonna say something, and it sounded like you was gonna say something that you had to bite your lip for because you was about to say something. Say something.
Drop squad.
I was ready. I was ready to go in because with the same token with the George Floyd situation, it was just another somewhat similar situation. I just sent y'all the video. The guy didn't die there, but he ended up dying in the hospital. But pretty much police all on this motherfucking neck. I mean, this shit ain't new, yo. And he's cuffed. This is recent. This shit ain't new. This just happened as well. Come on, all this shit is going on. A 75-year-old man who got pushed down in Buffalo, New York.
I was more pissed
a white man.
It's a white man. You cracked his fucking head open, and then you niggas got the nerve.
And the thing is, when
tried to say he tripped.
You heard.
They tried to say he tripped. He tried to say he tripped initially.
Listen, did y'all hear that?
Did
you hear his
57 of them retired?
These motherfuckers all stood in solidarity and resigned from the post because they wanted to make a point. Fuck y'all point, yo.
57 of them retired.
67, wasn't it?
67.
No, it was 57. It was 57.
57 resigned from the, and I don't think they resigned from the police department, but they resigned from that post. So,
they resigned from their jobs.
Oh, they resigned from their jobs. These motherfuckers are morons. And see, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is the reason why they're still marching today. This is the reason why they're going to continue to march. This is the reason why we got to uphold what we saying on this platform and get that shit correct. You know what I'm saying? And keep
And
building
they
and
did
building and
charge
building and
2
building.
people so far with it.
They should. All of them should be fucking charged, especially the ones that sit around and watch the shit and that didn't fucking help them.
And the thing
You know
is, the one that pushed them, when you look at the video, the one that pushed him was actually getting ready to go to help him.
And then somebody pulled him away.
Yo, no, but hold on. With the 75-year-old man, the one that pushed him, when he pushed him, he looked down and see him fall and shook his head and kept going.
No, I just watched the video. He looked
with
down at him.
With Buffalo?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
He looked down and shook it. He looked down and shook his head.
And he was about to go help him, and that's when the other guy pushes him to go along. The problem is not so much, well, the problem stems when you have the bad officers. But instead there is some, don't let one apple spoil the bunch. But when you have one apple that's trying to spoil the bunch,
that's a fucked up tree.
No,
that's a whole fucked up tree right there.
And the other apples are staying silent, even though they know it's wrong.
Yep.
I'm gonna speak on that, right? This is what one of the areas me and my queen, Mika had to argue about, because she's a retired officer now. Literally, like, and I hate to say this, with the situation with George Floyd, the officer who had his knee on his neck, the black officer, they say he was 4 days in. His training officer actually truly was the officer, and pretty much you can say what you want to say, but they're not going to
right is right, wrong is wrong.
They're not going. So personally, that's when you have to say fuck this whatever for that human being's right and push them off. You have to stop that. If I understand, like, because with military and police and even COs, because they're still trying to be structured, military type of mentality, where that orders are issued, so you follow orders. You know what I mean? You don't speak against your commanding officer, your senior officers. But at some point,
we need to find a range of compassion, man. That's what it is. If we don't stand up and become compassionate at some point and get past all the fuckery, you know what I'm saying? We're going to people. I don't think people understand how this reverberates just as human nature in itself. Even animals that would probably hunt and eat each other sometimes help each other, or animals that are mortal enemies. You know what I mean? You've seen it on Animal Planet, where you see something happen to a baby and it'll be somebody that's not of their species that comes over to help.
Yeah.
Or somebody that's not in the immediate, like 2 elephants, but they walk in herds, but the other part of the herd is not in that family. They still come over to help because they don't want to see that happen.
It's okay to help your fellow man.
It is exactly nuts. We are the worst.
It's okay to care. It's okay to care.
You would think that, right?
Whether Keith cares about honey bunches of oats or not, I care about Keith.
But see, that's what it's based upon.
I'm a supporter.
No, that's what it's based upon.
It's try to care a little bit.
That's what I'm saying, though, Kelly. That's what it's based upon. It's based upon people being upset that you don't love what they love the way they love it. Right. So therefore, it becomes fuck you. Your life ain't worth the flag that they bitch about. Bullshit. Fuck that flag. How about that?
And here's the funny thing. I just had to say something to the girl, the 11 and 9-year-old last night, right? And it goes right along with what we're talking about, because they're like, well, everybody's watching this, and everybody's watching that, and everybody's watching that.
Everybody jump off a building. You jumping?
Everybody doesn't have the same opinion.
They don't.
Now, if you choose to have the same, if you choose to go be led to like something because everyone else does,
right?
When in actuality, you really don't. You only fooling your goddamn self. So
following the crowd,
like what you like, be who you going to be. Figure out what makes you happy, not everybody else.
And we discussed this not too long ago. But it's okay to be you.
Yep.
And think the way you think.
Listen, you see my shirt.
I'm going to still love you.
Current move. But that's what I'm saying. People.
And people can't do this.
People don't feel that. When we talked about the inferiority.
I'm high maintenance anyway, but
people don't feel. People don't feel.
High maintenance.
People feel inferior. People feel inferior. Yeah. That's what it is. for some way, shape, or form, some reason or another, people are just not comfortable in their own fucking skin. They're just not. So therefore, the way you feel better about yourself is to
make somebody else feel worse.
Is to push somebody else downward. That's what.
But you understand that the best way to say it is that it is a very small world. Very small.
Ain't it?
And what goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
And this country was built on violence and thievery. You stole a whole country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You stole people.
Yeah.
Make them work for you.
Nope. And I want to say something earlier.
Made them go to war for you.
Country.
Made them fight. Made them fight with you for the country. Just don't forget about that. Made them fight with you to get the country. Made them fight to separate, to independent the country.
Right.
Made you build the country that you call so great.
Right.
And still enslave us to this goddamn day.
Crazy. I want to say something because a minute ago or whatnot, speaking out, and I said fuck that flag, and that's how I feel, man. I don't feel like, because I have people who have servicemen and whatnot that serve, you know what I mean, family servicemen in this country and whatnot. I just think that the flag itself is a piece of cloth. What it represents is what we should be displaying, and we don't. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about,
it wasn't made for us. It wasn't made for us.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. Its symbol is not supposed to include us.
But that's the whole point.
And in all honesty, with Drew's comment, I didn't say anything, but I understand why you said what you just said, because all the way down to that flag, that wasn't about our colored people.
It wasn't. It wasn't. But I'm still, and I still give it the benefit of the doubt, because I know for a fact that we've had family members, grandfathers, uncles, cousins that have bled and have died for this country, just like
family members that are still to this day in the military.
Right. Yeah. So when I say
what kills me with Drew,
who nation and races are in the military as well.
But not what it stands for, but that piece of cloth itself, I'm not putting all my stock, and I've said this before in this podcast, I'm not putting all my fucking stock into a piece of cloth. They make fucking flags in a warehouse. You know what I'm saying?
Symbol.
I put in assembly line. Right. I'm putting my stock into the people, into what it stands for, and the people that fought, bled, and died for this country. What about y'all? Are y'all doing the same? Fuck that. Like that, for real. That's real shit. What was you gonna say, Kelly? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Real quick, right? As a Jehovah's Witness, we was taught that flag that people pledge into is an idol. So you're worshiping a cloth or idol.
Right, exactly. No false idols. God says it. There should be no false idols.
What kills me with Drew Brees is that he tried to bring his grandfather fighting in World War I and his great grandfather in World War I, his grandfather in World War II. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Mm-hmm. My grandfather, both of my grandfathers, was in World War II.
Yep.
Like us.
And couldn't come home and vote.
My great grandfather was in World War II. My grandfather was in Vietnam. Stop talking to me about shit that we already know. And at the end of the day,
but he tried to say something about that. You know, guess what? When when your grandfather came home and got his GI Bill and could move into the suburbs and get himself an education, my grandfather was just able to come home.
Yep. How about this? If your
couldn't vote.
Hold up, he couldn't vote.
Couldn't vote.
He could not walk around with his uniform on, like his counterpart, without possibly being attacked, locked up, if not possibly killed.
Wait a minute.
After you went over there defending this country.
On top of that,
flag
couldn't be in the same regiment.
We aren't even going to talk about
even when they were across seas. Even when they were across seas, couldn't be in the same regiment.
It's depressing. It's depressing. It's depressing, man. It's depressing.
All right, can we talk about something else?
No, we're definitely going to move on. It's depressing. It fucking sucks. And to be honest with you or whatnot.
Hey, yo, remember Dead Presidents? Hold on, real quick, 1 second. Remember Dead Presidents?
I remember that. I love that movie. That's my
you remember Chris Tucker?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Case
Who
in point.
was the ones that? Oh, and in all honesty, and it's a sad thing, but it's a crazy fact if you really think about it. That's a lot of how a lot of that crazy goofy shit came back over here to these states. Back
Yep. Absolutely. And
just a little note.
Understandable. That was a great discussion, y'all. Moving forward.
Please. I haven't heard this music in a while.
Last week?
It's been.
No, we didn't. That's when we read the letter last week. We didn't do it.
Oh yeah. The week before. I'm sorry.
Oh man. It feels so good.
What you may have heard.
Yeah.
Top 5 dead or alive. Yeah, yo.
Top five today.
Skirt. Remix.
Kelly,
Remix.
Run it down for us. What are we looking at? Like,
because we need a little light and laughter in our day.
Okay.
Today's top 5 is top 10.
Woo.
So it's the top 10 cartoons that you watched when you were a kid.
All right. So since we're doing 10, we can't give the breakdown of all of them, but
right.
what I want y'all to do is just the ones that mean the most to you, give a little synopsis and keep it moving because the list is long. Those the top 10 be.
Well, mine's are sectioned off, so.
All right. So
you'll see how I break it down.
You gotta be all extra organized.
You got them in order because mine ain't in order.
Mine's are in order.
I ain't got nothing in order. I can't.
Mine's are in order because they're in the section of why they're important to me.
Okay, gotcha.
So number 10
mm-hmm.
was a pup named Scooby-Doo. That was teenagery, but it was Scooby-Doo. Right. That was it.
All right.
Number 9, 8, and 7.
Okay.
Pinky and the Brain, Tiny Toons, Animaniacs.
They all are one and the same because they're
not. No, they all came on within a year of each other.
All right,
Tiny Toons came first.
Pinky and the Brain came from Animaniacs.
Anyway, we don't have much time.
All right, go ahead.
So Pinky and the Brain, Tiny Toons, Animaniacs. That's my 9, 8, and 7. I love them because that's just.
So Animaniacs was the best one out of them.
No,
that was just my number 7. Anyway.
Right.
Number 6, 5, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, She-Ra, because He-Man, She-Ra is kind of one cartoon.
No, don't do that. No, don't you do that. Don't you do that. Don't you fucking do that. Don't you do? You better not sit up here and try to feminize He-Man.
No, She-Ra was his sister.
I know, but that wasn't the name of the cartoon.
But I watched them together.
I hate that.
He-Man came on at 4 o'clock. She-Ra came on at 4:30.
You true. That's true.
They were as one because at one point there was a spin-off.
It wasn't the same episode.
I don't want to sound misogynistic. Go ahead. I don't want to sound misogynistic. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead with that. Go ahead.
So that's my 6, 5, 4. G.I. Joe, Transformers, She-Ra. These are things I watched with my dad. That's why those particular cartoons are the one for me. Number 3, Scooby-Doo. I came home and Scooby-Doo was on.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
And I watched it and I watched it and I watched it. And if it came on right now, I'd watch it right now.
Hanna-Barbera. Go ahead.
Number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Tom and Jerry. That's my shit.
I love Tom and Jerry too.
When you think about, they didn't speak at all. You didn't. What other cartoon are you going to watch where they don't even speak?
Was Tom and Jerry the Abbott and Costello of cartoons?
Nah.
What's the blue they did though?
No. Tom and Jerry.
They spoke in the movie.
Like with a record.
Yeah.
So Is You Ain't My Baby, he's just playing the bass. He never sung it.
Did you see the movie? They spoke in the movie.
Yeah, the movie they spoke.
Yeah, they spoke in the movie.
And number 1.
Uh-huh.
Number 1. And when I wrote this list, that's why I had to add 10, so I had to change my numbers. This was still always my number 1.
Right.
And it's a very girly cartoon, but it was my cartoon.
What is it?
Jim. And I don't know if y'all remember Jim.
Yeah, Jim
but Jim
definitely was a girly
outrageous.
cartoon.
Truly outrageous.
You know they got toys back
Jim.
out for Jim? You know they got toys back out for Jim, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I bought something for Larry for Christmas with Jim. Yep.
But me and my
Jim
girlfriend.
was so like that was the Jim and
Jim and the holograms.
And what was the other one? Josie and the Pussycats, Jones like that. We avoided them with the
but see, like Josie and the Pussycats.
They were so girly. They were the girly.
Like Josie and the Pussycats was Scooby Doo, Scooby Doo ish.
I know.
It was Scooby Doo era. So
those are cartoons.
I like Josie and the Pussycats, but Scooby Doo trumped them. So
yeah,
that's my fan.
That was a good list. All right, what's your list looking like, bro?
I'm gonna actually say I got two that's close to feeling like they might float on your list. I'm gonna start off with because I'm an 80 baby with the Care Bears, man.
Care Bears.
Care Bears stare.
Can I have an honorable mention? Can I have an honorable mention?
No, we're not going this for 11. I gave y'all 10.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. We give you enough time to come up with one more, Kelly. You got it.
Yeah. One more for your honorable mention. I got honorable mention. Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna go 9. Smurfs. With the Smurfs. The Smurfs.
Yes.
The Smurfs.
Yes. You know how many people call me Smurfette?
I wonder why.
It is 2020 and I am still called Smurfette.
I wonder why.
But seriously, I'm always, when I hang out with guys, I'm normally the only girl.
That's about right.
In general, because
Yeah. You were the boys. Well, you're not one of the boys, but yeah, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
90%.
Next up, number 7.
Well, 90%.
Number 7.
Go ahead.
Number 7. Kill 'em up. Inspector Gadget.
God damn, you. Yeah. Yo, shit. I be forgetting about. That was my shit.
That was my morning routine. Cream a week, Inspector Gadget, and wait for the bus to come pick me up for school.
That was my shit. Fucking Inspector Gadget. I forgot all about
Penny. Wait a minute. I got a good one for you for Inspector Gadget. Guess who Penny is?
I know this.
What, the voice of Penny?
Yes. I know this.
Cree Summer.
It was. Cree Summer did a lot of shit. She did it.
But do you know how old she had to be to do Penny?
Yeah.
She was grown then.
Huh?
That came out
and grown in. So Cree Summer like 60
she was a teenager. She was a teenager.
Was that before A Different World or after?
Way before.
Was it way before? All right, keep going.
Way before.
Keep going.
Up next. Thundercats. Roll!
That was my shit.
Thundercats.
Oh. All right, go ahead.
Up next. We're gonna go Darkwing Duck. We're gonna go Darkwing Duck.
Yo, that was my shit.
We're gonna go Darkwing Duck.
Can I get two?
With that Duckman Duck, you gotta follow that up though.
What, Darkwing Duck?
I'm not. That would have to be a second. What you call it? That would have to be a
mention.
DuckTales.
Yeah, I know DuckTales. You can't say Darkwing Duck without DuckTales.
Yeah. I know.
I know, but he probably like that better. Go ahead.
I know. I fuck with both because they came on back to back. They came on back to back.
Penny in 1983.
Damn.
Yeah.
And she's 50.
She's 50. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Don't try to add shit. Go ahead.
I'm not adding anything.
Go ahead.
You know what? Up next,
she was 14 doing Penny.
Of course, classic favorite. This shit is still a banger. This shit's like 50, almost 100 years old. Looney motherfucking tunes. Motherfucking tunes. God damn it.
Bugs Bunny.
Of course. Looney Tunes was the shit.
Just because we on that lane. I've been talking about this shit. I gotta sing. We're in a mania, totally zany. Here's the show of mania. And a maniacs. Those are the facts. I mean, Goodfellas, Sally, the whole thing from them. Who I forgot about? Oh, Knowing's half the battle. G.I.
Joe.
G.I. Joe. I can, of course. And probably one of my favorite, and I love it that it's
stop naming the numbers. What number are you on?
I'm on one now. I'm technically on one now.
All right.
I'm technically on one now. which is actually one of Kyrie's fucking favorites. Although he doesn't like the same people. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's
Heroes in a Half Shell.
Turtle Power.
Listen, Michelangelo was my nigga. You know what I mean?
I don't know, I always fuck with Raphael, man. Even in the movie, like
they
Raphael
said I had
was that
Raph.
bull.
They said I had Ralph Temper.
Raph was that dude. Raph was the rebel. Raph was the
I was
rebel.
Mike, but I wanted to be Leonardo. I don't know what the fuck was going
All
on.
right, did you say honorable mention?
I was working in the movie theater when that came out. Lord have mercy.
Bro,
we ran out of popcorn.
That shit was pretty sure. That was the shit.
And here's my honorable mention. It slept on. Y'all probably forgot about this.
What's that?
Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse.
Here I come to save the
day. Mighty Mouse is on its way. That's my shit. Yeah, that was my shit. No, listen. All right. I'm gonna start with my honorable mention. Fuck y'all, and then I'm gonna come back and then Kelly.
I just like the way y'all have some honorable mention. I ain't got no honorable mentions. My 10 was my 10.
So I'm just get one.
My honorable mention is Tailspin. Oh yeah, Tailspin. Oh yeah, Tailspin. You know, Baloo from Jungle Book, the cartoon that he had.
Oh yeah. She don't know that. I'm like, what? You don't know what that is?
I know. Higher for Hire. Don't do that. Yeah, that was the shit. Tailspin.
How old were you when that came out for you, and how old was I when that came out for me?
I was in middle school when that came out.
Yeah, I was in elementary.
So I had to be in high school.
So you was you was in high school.
That's true. All right, so here we go.
I have my honorable mention though.
I was still watching some cartoons in high school.
I ain't got no particular order.
Animaniacs and all that came out when I was high school. I was watching that, but then it was a more adult.
Yeah.
Oh, it was more adult.
Right. It was a cartoon, but it still had it had that little thing that teenagers and adults be like, oh.
All right, let me get my rundown.
I got away with that.
Let me get my rundown. No particular order. I'm just gonna start from the back of my list. No particular order because I could not really.
Would you turn that on silent?
Sorry. Here we go.
Turn that fist phone.
Yeah, that's right. But that wasn't a sound effect. That was my phone.
That was his phone, right?
But it was a sound effect.
Yeah, it was a sound effect though. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Right. Number 10. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon.
I didn't get onto it, yo.
Dragon
I never got
Ball
into it.
Dragon Ball Z.
Listen, I'll say I've watched some joints here and there, and I've liked it, but I just never got into it.
Number 9. The Simpsons.
Oh shit! Yes.
Eat my shorts.
All right, here you go. Here's a sleeper. Number 8. Y'all forgot. Y'all didn't even remember it. Y'all remember it, but y'all slept on it.
Chip and Dale?
No, Doug from Nickelodeon. Doug.
Oh my God!
Remember Doug?
I had a dog, and I named my dog Chicken Wing because his dog was named Pork Chop.
Pork Chop. Yup. Patty Mayonnaise. It was his boo boo.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Doug. And keeping number 7, keeping that Nickelodeon cartoon thing live. Ren and Stimpy. No, is it Ren and Stimpy? Ren and Stimpy. Without Ren and Stimpy, there would have been no SpongeBob. They took the whole style from Ren and Stimpy to create SpongeBob.
I forgot about Ren and Stimpy, yo.
Me and my best friend, I could text her a picture of Ren and Stimpy right now, and she's going to start singing happy, happy, joy, happy. Oh my God. Memories, memories.
Number 6.
Joy.
Number 6, man. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon. Granddad.
Oh,
Boondocks. Yes, sir.
Yo, I had to school my son because I was watching something and they were talking about like the top 10 celebrities or whatever that the Boondocks made fun of. So I'm watching listening to that on YouTube. And he comes in and he's like, "You're watching?" I was like, "What, Boondocks?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Baby, Boondocks is older than you."
Yes, it is.
I was like, I remember when Boondocks was just a comic strip.
Just a comic
which made me feel old because he was like, what's a comic strip?
I told the kids that about Garfield yesterday. Like it used to be the newspaper.
Oh my God.
Newspaper Garfield. Yep.
No.
Handicap.
Heathcliff.
Yep. All that. All right.
Heathcliff was my cat. Heathcliff was a good cartoon.
Number 5. I remember the original clip from this cartoon. It was the raunchiest thing I ever had seen, and then I went to see the movie too. I'm on down South Park on our house.
I got one song. Hold up.
I had a Cartman watch.
Please let me get this out.
And it used to say, respect my authority.
Well.
Say, everybody ever seen my balls? They big and salty and brown. If you ever pick me up, just stick my balls in your mouth. Ooh, suck on my chocolate salted balls. Yo, real shit.
They always say we don't know how we got Isaac Hayes to be shut for that show.
Rest in peace, Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, rest in peace to him, man, because he died while he was still doing that show too. That was great. Number 4. Hi, Nanny, Muppet Baby. That was my shit. Oh man, Muppet Baby.
Miss Piggy.
My ass got excited because they did like a reboot of Muppet Babies, but it was almost like cartoonish action. It just wasn't the same.
Computer animated,
it
wasn't the same. And the what you call? We did that. Somebody played it on the podcast, but we played the song. But the song didn't sound like the old one, the original.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, that's one of the jokes we said that we did. Like, number
three. He-Man. Not. It was just He-Man. It was just by the power of Grayskull. I have the power. That's my shit. Yeah, I like it. All right. Number 2. I used to say this all wrong all the time because it used to sound weird when they said it. But they had plenty of blockbuster movies. Transformers. I used to say the theme song wrong though.
That was on my list.
I thought I said Transformers. I
used to say Transformers. They would say
more than meets the eyes.
I used to think they were saying something about the Bisky Eye. I didn't know what the fuck they were saying.
More than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye and robots in disguise is what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? They were more than meets the eye. Robots in disguise.
I'm trying to tell you, when the first movie came out,
I cried. When Optimus Prime died,
I took my nephew.
No good.
Me and my sister and my nephew.
You talking about the first live
the
action
actual
movie.
Right, the live action.
I'm talking about the cartoon movie that came out.
Yeah, when the actual movie came out, my sister didn't want to see it, so she went to see another movie. So my nephew and I went to see Transformers. Right, and the first time I heard Optimus speak, I'm like, fuck, they got the real Optimus. That's the dude from the cartoon. And my nephew is looking at me like, why are you so, like, you don't understand. I remember 4th grade. I remember being in 4th grade. And we had, everything happened to me when I was in 4th grade. That's when the shuttle exploded. And this 4th grade was a huge memory in my mind.
I was still in Florida.
Wow.
But that was when I was the only girl, once again, Smurfette, in the Transformers Club. And the only way you could be in the Transformers Club is when you got home. The first thing you did before you ate anything, did any homework, you watched that half an hour.
Right.
So that when you got to school the next day, you can discuss it.
Did you watch the movie, the original cartoon movie when Optimus Prime died?
Probably.
You don't know.
I don't remember it now.
You don't know. You don't know pain until you went through that. That's the pain of Optimus Prime dying was a whole different ball of wax, yo. Like it hurt my heart so bad. But I'm gonna give y'all my final one.
And then we can go back to my honorable mention.
The sleeper that everybody forgot about. This is probably one of the best cartoons ever. Do y'all remember Batman the animated series?
Oh man.
Nigga. Batman the animated series might have been the most well put together cartoon. It was like that half hour was riveting. It was like what Batman was supposed to be. It was like watching the comic books on they show. I remember
is that the one that came out like once the movie started?
Yup.
Okay,
But
yeah.
but everybody was complaining. They was like, why they don't draw them like the movie? And I was like, no, that's not the point. This is
too much
more,
going on with the movie.
this got a whole lot going. They even show how they created Two-Face, and he used to have Two-Face in it.
Yeah.
I think it was a little darker than like
it was much darker. Yeah, the kids'
Batman
cartoons.
stuff.
It was. That was the point.
Yo, you know what? I'm sorry, Kelly, because none of us remembered this, and I know at least Keith, this was just showing that we forgot about Gargoyles.
Yo, Gargoyles.
I was just watching that
I
a couple weeks
it,
ago.
But
I was just watching that like 2 weeks ago. It's on something,
like
right? It's on something. I think it's on Disney.
It's funny that you mentioned that, right? Because the same person that drew Batman animated series.
Gargoyles.
Yep. So that's the reason why you gravitated towards Gargoyles. That shit was the shit. All right, Kelly. So what was your honorable mention that you wanted? You don't give me no bullshit. Because you up there waiting and you had time to fucking.
Y'all made me do an honorable mention.
Right.
So this is my honorable mention since we was talking about Darkwing Duck, and we was talking about
DuckTales.
No, and DuckTales, right?
Right.
Can y'all hear that?
I can't hear it. Let me see. I can't hear it.
Chip and Dale.
Oh, Chip and Dale.
In his danger. Remember the episode? We go move on to the naked truth in a second. I just want y'all to remember this. Remember this one episode when what was the fat one name? What was his name?
What?
The fat chipmunk. The one, the real one, the fat one with the Australian accent.
What
the hell was his name?
What?
No, we just talked about Rescue Rangers. They're chipmunks, right?
But they had one with them. The
Australian one. When you said the fat one, you make it start thinking about not Elvis, Simon, Theodore.
No, not them, not what I was on. Because Chip and Dale are fucking chipmunks, right? Yeah, the chipmunks.
Yeah,
the chipmunks. So who was the fat? Remember, they had a whole team. That's why they were Rescue Rangers. Who was the fat? Who was the fat?
Hold on. Keep going to the theme song.
It was one anyway though. Forget you tell me in a minute, right? So it was an episode where they got kidnapped. They got
Monterey Jack.
Monterey Jack, exactly.
Monterey Jack.
Monterey Jack. It was an episode.
Monterey Jack. My name's Monterey Jack.
Yo.
That's the voice. That's the voice.
It wasn't until I was a little bit older,
right? That you didn't understand it was a cheese, and he was fat.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the kind of stuff that Animaniacs and Tiny Toons and
that shit was just
Pinky the Brain. They put those little twists in there
so
that adults watching it be like, even what's name? SpongeBob do it now.
Yeah,
they did a thing online and like they had adults watching SpongeBob for the adult jokes to see if they could catch the adult jokes. And like every man was like, ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Yo.
It's like they did that? Yeah.
Yo. But Monterey, listen, so the reason why I mentioned that is because Monterey Jack, so what happened was they got sent on a mission and they got double crossed by somebody, right? And they got set up by they would always get double crossed by somebody they would either fight rats or other chipmunks or like rodents that were their size. And they got double crossed and they were in a soda factory and they got put in this vat, right? And the dude said, he's like, you guys will be dead in 5 minutes. And they dropped the soda in there. And Monterey Jack was like, hey, mate. He's like, no need to fret. He was like, it's only soda. How much can you drink? And this nigga started drinking the soda.
Started gulping.
He started gulping, but then he drowned. He was like, yo, I gotta watch the episode. I'm so.
I remember that show.
I'm so immature that I feel like.
He's shit like.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, man.
Yo, he was floating. Why was he floating? Like his eyes was bulging out and shit. Yo, cartoons back then was the greatest, man. They had nothing on when they canceled Saturday morning. Remember that was like 3 years ago when they finally stopped showing cartoons on Saturday morning. No more cartoons. So there's no more cartoons on Saturday.
Yeah, because I mean, even Caleb used to watch like up until 1:30.
Yeah,
I couldn't leave like on a Saturday. I couldn't leave the house with Caleb until 1:30 because at 1 o'clock
She changed her name in the Zoom to Smurf Fat.
You just did that? I meant to say something. I meant to say something 5 minutes ago. I seen it.
She's fucking hilarious.
She's Smurf Fat.
Yo, you know what?
Like you had the cartoons until 12 o'clock.
Right.
And then about 12 o'clock, you had like the shows. They were still kid and teen oriented.
Yeah. Like City High. Remember City High?
Right. Oh my God, that was my dude.
Yo,
Wesley Jonathan. And at 1 o'clock, Power Rangers would come on Channel 6.
Yeah.
My son was a Power Rangers head.
Niggas ain't nobody's
and
Power Ranger head like me.
Unless I could get him
Power
out the house before that came on, we couldn't move.
I was Power Ranger out.
And when I say he was ready to go at 1:30, like as soon as it went off, he turned the TV off. Mom, let's go. But 1 o'clock, it was a wrap.
That's what I used to do that because my mom used to take me to the movies on Saturday, so I had to watch that episode of Power Rangers. But the episode of Power Rangers was always a rerun of what happened during the week, but I still wanted to watch it. So here's the deal, though, right? So Power Rangers wasn't a bigger Power Ranger head, and even though it's not a cartoon, nobody was a bigger Power Ranger head than me. I went to see the movie, and all my nerds out there.
He even begged me to see the last movie that came out.
Oh, I ain't see all of them. As they got older, they got cornier.
And I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna say this, and it's going to be shocking.
What's that?
That last one that came out, and it had to come about 3-4 years ago.
Right.
That one was actually a pretty decent movie.
Was it better?
Way
than the first
better.
One?
Yeah. Oh God.
First and foremost, the saga. So
you gonna have him looking at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at it.
He's gonna be right on the fire stick.
Yeah. Looking for.
As soon as he get done on the grill, he's gonna be like, yeah, y'all got y'all food, y'all good straight. Power Ranger movie, where are you?
Gotta see it. All right, but that leads me directly into the naked truth. I'm going into the naked truth with this. Listen,
naked truth.
I love the fact that we were able to be serious.
I used to imagine the yellow and the pink Rangers naked. That's the only reason I watched.
Yeah, here we go. Yep, and we are back. We are fucking back.
Back Ranger scheduled program.
Y'all thought because the world is in turmoil that the Mr. Know-It-All podcast is going to lose some goofy shit. Nah, we were just holding it back. You know what I'm saying? We'll get back to it because apparently talking about naked Power Rangers is the next wave.
I wasn't a fan, but I'm gonna be honest. When I watched it was to see the yellow and the pink Ranger getting their outfits.
Yeah, that's true. They had one. Remember the black? Anyway, remember the black yellow Ranger? Anyway, all right. So let's stop talking about that for a second. I want to be serious. I do want to be a little serious. I was
a horny teenager. The fuck when it came out. What do you say?
Go ahead. All right. So anyway, I want to talk about it. We, for the most part, this podcast has been serious because we still have had, and you're going to have parts of this podcast that are serious, and we hope that we are being informative as well as being serious. When we, state the things that we state, we're going to tell you how we feel. You're going to get the rawest form of it. I'm loving the direction that things are going. I think I'm seeing real change being made. But I just want to reiterate what I was talking about earlier. I think that we're disconnected because there's a lack of wanting to understand. And even you can still just act like you want to understand. And what happens is that maybe you'll earn something. Oh, your NFL boycott, see that. Yeah, wow. Martin Luther King III is actually calling for NFL boycott. So we'll if
we'll see. We'll talk about that later.
We'll definitely talk about that later. But to be honest with you, this has to be a point of understanding. And even if your heart is not all the way in it and whatnot, just do it because of the fact that you don't live in this world alone. And you work with other people that are not like you. You shop next to other people that are not like you. You have neighbors that are not like you. So therefore, listen, just try to find some shit.
The whole world is not like you.
Like you, exactly. But people are in their own bubble. I'm telling you, don't be the person that is surprised when shit comes to your front door that you're not prepared for. This world moves with or without you. So if I were you and you're uneducated and you're unaware or you're just unwilling, you better turn it around real fast because it's not going to wait for you to catch the fuck up.
Nope.
And that's the naked truth. But
big facts.
Something that
you can either be on my side or be in my way.
Yeah, because sometimes they don't get.
If you're in my way, you might get steamrolled over.
And you know what's funny? The way that the world is operating now, Kelly, you're not going to be able to just stand on the sideline. That's the problem. People just want to stand on the sideline. People want to, you know what I mean? They want to wait till all this shit is over with. They don't want to be.
You can't stay ignorant anymore.
Up front.
You can't stay ignorant. You can't stay ignorant to the facts anymore.
You
can't say it. You can't be
blind forever.
Those blinders right now. I understand people put blinders on. People put mental blinders on, whatever. And a lot of privileged people have had blinders placed on from their forefathers and forefathers and forefathers. But the same token, they know in the back of their head, in the back of their mind, what their forefathers and forefathers and forefathers have done. So them keeping their blinders because they're looking above.
Right.
If you ain't no motherfucking horse in the Kentucky Derby or no greyhound in the motherfucking races, take them blinders off so you can understand what the fuck is going on around you. Because shit is going down.
Tell them again.
Shit is going down. Take them blinders off.
Yep. Take them off.
You can. And at this point, no longer be niggas. This is for everyone. No longer be niggas in the actual Webster Dictionary.
Right.
Definition of the word ignorant to the facts of the plight of what's been going on, how we feel, and we just want to be treated properly, equally. We want to be we have no problem sitting at the table. Fuck serving you. You know, we deserve and we have the right.
We can be served as well.
Exactly.
Yep. And until we get that going, before you say that, Kelly. Absolutely. But now.
all I was going to say before we get to nasty time.
Right.
When we say that we've invited some Caucasians to the picnic, this is the picnic.
Welcome to the picnic.
Remember what Rihanna said.
It's some ribs over there.
Pull up.
Pull up.
There's some chicken over there. It's some real potato salad over there.
Yep.
Oh, I got potato salad in my refrigerator.
No bacon. No bacon. No bacon.
No raisins. No raisins in it.
Fucking raisins in the potato salad. I can't.
Who put raisins? Look, I'll put raisins anything but
nigga put raisins.
Oatmeal raisin cookies.
Oh my gosh! And now, hold up. It just wouldn't be right.
I know what you're asking yourself, and the answer is yes. I have a nickname for my penis. It's called the Octagon. But I also nicknamed my testes. My left one is James Westfall, and my right one is Dr. Kenneth Noiswater. If you ladies play your cards right, you just might get to meet the whole gang.
Yep.
Was that Paul Rudd?
Yes, it is Paul Rudd.
And what's the name?
Yep,
Anchorman.
Yep, and
I gotta watch Anchorman again. Him and that cologne. 90% of the time it works every time.
Our very own sexual adventure. R. Ryder with
what's going on, my good constituents?
What you got?
We got another tale from the industry.
We're
going on a different aspect though, because with this, I don't want it to be one dimensional.
Okay. Absolutely.
So, and I've been trying to spread it out. I don't want it all to be the same thing. So this story, I'm actually going to tell the story of a brother in the game, who's also a brother in the community. You know him, Taz.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm actually going to tell the story of how we came a meeting and how I actually brought him, because I'm the one who actually started him in the dance business.
Okay.
I know, we're actually from around the same neighborhood down North Philly. And we used to see each other here and there, back in the day, 90s, whatever. And say probably in the early 2000s, one of my god sisters, Nina, who did my waist tattoo, she has a shop, Big City, 27 Gerard. So that's when I got my waist down, was hanging around there. And Taz used to be in there doing piercings. And he knew several dancers, and he had been trying to get on for a minute. Nobody gave him a chance. Nobody gave him time with that. And Taz energy is like off the fucking charts, man.
Right.
I think
right.
I think when he's sleeping, like he injecting Red Bull into his veins, so he wake up and he just be like literally like the Tasmanian devil.
Right. Hence the name.
Yeah. So he, was like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, bro, if I really want to get down, I said that. I'm like, are you serious? I said, because, a lot of people always asking, yo, how can I get in the business? How can I get in the game? I want to be a dancer. Yeah, I mean, this is that and other, but they don't know what really goes down.
Right.
They don't see. They most men who actually are interested in getting it, they interested in getting it because they know you're gonna have women on you, so they just thinking about more pussy. If I get some money and get some pussy, fuck, whole lot more pussy. That might help increase my money. Shit, they really thinking more of their dick first.
Right.
They're accepting the money, but and then you have some guys who can actually dance. You have some guys who are entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
You got guys who, they just get women.
Right.
Women are drawn to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say women are drawn to them. Chaz is a people person, but he's high energetic. So sometimes that can wear people the fuck out. But he's a good dude, and he has a good heart.
Right.
So we rapped for about maybe 2 weeks back and forth because I was down north a lot during that time anyway, so I was always at the shop. So we rap. And got this head, and he was at the time he was also doing hair because Staz does women's hair, does massages as well as the piercings. But trying to get more
erotic massages.
I can't speak on that. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I'm not going to speak on what him and his clients may do. That's not my place. I ain't going to do that.
I ain't going to fucking with you. Go ahead.
I ain't going to do that.
Right.
But, so, within those 2 weeks, it's like, okay, he down. He this may be help him, and he seems sincere enough that he's going to listen.
Right.
So, I had Taz roll with me for 2 months.
Right.
So almost every show I did for 2 months. And at this point, I was dancing 4 to 5 days a week, every fucking week. Sometimes 6 days a week.
Damn.
And I was in and out of town. I had like a little baby somewhat tour. I was in Baltimore on a Wednesday, DC on a Thursday, North Carolina Friday, another place in North Carolina Saturday, South Carolina Sunday, then back home. Guess what? He was riding shotgun.
That's what's up. That's a good look.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he got to see, one of those was, I think only one of them I actually did a pilot, but the other was actual shows. So he also got to see and witness, me, other entertainers, see how other women responded at, what's hype there, because every crowd is different, and every woman is different. Just because the song is the most popular song that everybody like, everybody really don't like it. There's some people who don't like it. Right. So, but to get experiences, I had to fly to Detroit. Dude flew out the fucking Detroit, bro.
That's somebody trying to lie.
He flew out the fucking Detroit, bro. Real shit. Like, nah, bro, I'm with you. I said, bro, you flew out here, bro. Don't even worry about the joint, because that promoter wasn't even flying me back because I had a show, I think in Cincinnati or somewhere else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But they was getting me a rental, so I was like, yo, you just, you know what I mean? Yeah. But he after 2 months, right, took him to my tailor. I said, yo, this is who's making my outfits, this, that, that. Talk to her, come up with a design. Listen, he got a green light, you can make it stuff. Because she does female, Vanessa the Body. At the time, she was only doing female dancer stuff. I was a female dancer, she would do anything. When it came to my costumes and outfits and everything. And I know her. She's from my neighborhood as well. So, took him to my twin, Style. Because Style was where I was making most of my music, unless it's Radical in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Took him to Style, Style. Well, Style already knew him. Whatever you do, though, I don't want your stuff to sound like me. You see how I dance, you know how I rock, and you can dance.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Just don't do it.
You a nice. No, it's not even that.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to what I do. You know, things I do that you think that you can change to fit you. Mm-hmm. Don't make it look like me. Look like you. Outfits, find your identity for real. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Be you. For real, all in all, be you.
Right.
You see what's out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
See different looks and different people, different places. Find your niche, right?
Right.
2 weeks later, he had music done.
Mm-hmm.
He sat there, practiced it. You know what I mean? Practiced the set. You know what I mean? He already had, slow female friends who was cool. You know what I mean? So they, critiqued him a little bit. I knew a couple of them because a couple of them were female dancers.
Right.
So one of, I forget which weekly spot it was. I think it was Thursdays. I think it was at Steve's at the time. He said either at Steve's or Third World, but I think it was Steve's. But
Third World. Oh my God.
Yeah, listen, I made a lot of money inside and outside of Third World. I used to be on 2 clocks in Third World, crazy. But he messed around. And this might have been Third World. No, this is right before I went back to Third World. Mm-hmm. And he had a couple people who already came out to see him. He was nervous, but he came out. He did his fucking thing, man. I mean,
that's what's up.
They enjoyed him. He entertained. He was high energy. He had fun. He was a female on the set, and he just celebrated. Well, shit, he had just been celebrating from 13 or 15 years in the business, man. 13 years, I think. Or 13 years in the business, man.
He's still active. He's still active to this day, right?
He's still active.
Right.
He actually started up his own promotions squad, She Devils, and they was throwing big shows, a couple times a year for a couple years. But he's still doing his thing. So he was a successor. I've had other people who was like, yo, I want to get out, and it's not for everybody. This business is not for everybody.
Absolutely.
About him, he doesn't dance like anybody else in the game. I mean, besides to a certain degree, certain parts of his flow with with using people as different people do. He's his own. He's I may have brought him out, but he's created his own lane. He's on his own path. He made his own identity.
Well, that's what's up, man. That's it. It's a success story. Yeah,
I'm glad that I was able to, be successful and help somebody.
You was a mentor.
Let me find out.
I call him my young boy old head because he's older than me in my age, but it's my young boy in the game. Plus, he's my bike club brother.
No, that nigga is your Padawan. That nigga is your Padawan.
Huh? 44? Yeah, I think
44. Be with you.
He don't look it. He only like 4'8", but
I know he's a short nigga. I know. Yeah. He's a pet. Yeah.
That's my little nigga though. That's definitely.
He's taller than Kelly though, so you know how that goes.
Yeah. No. Their head might be about the same.
He's just Padawan. You have the full.
Yeah, he see you, Kelly. Kelly, if he see you, he on your ass. He's on your ass. He love him.
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself.
I
say that for
all right. Here we go. I already knew. I knew it was gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna be Smurfette the Tasmanian Devil. Taz gonna be just bouncing around, bouncy.
How tall is he?
His actual height, I want to say he's like 5'3". I'm at 5'5".
Nah, he's like 5'5". Yeah,
he's 5'5". 5'5". He's like 5'5".
He about a foot taller than you. About a foot taller than
5'5" ain't a foot taller than me.
It is so a foot taller than
5'5" is 4 inches taller than me.
Let's stop the lying to the masses.
4 inches can mean a lot.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what 2 short people want to do together.
Listen. Same thing that tall people do together.
Exactly. Listen, you lay in the bed, y'all the same height. In the bed, y'all the same height.
Laying down, everybody the same height. You never know. You know what I'm saying? They pop up and whatnot, and this
surprise, motherfucker.
Gotcha, bitch.
I'm making no short.
Man. Baby. Gotta love it.
Anyway.
And that has been another tale from the industry.
We actually ended with a laugh this week.
Yes,
Oh, absolutely, y'all.
We need it.
I feel as if that it's definitely a situation that's needed, because y'all, we just like, you know what I'm saying, it's a whole lot.
With everything going on, I get on social media, man,
all the shit
and because of me being so vocal about so much, you know, of course I got like, I want to say probably like at least 10 plus sources of people who are DMing me daily different videos. You know what I mean? Of different things that's going on. You know what I mean? I'm talking 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. You know what I mean? So I'm you know, the sea lion, I'm like,
the wave is strong, my friends. The wave is strong. Let me because the dogs are barking and saying, "All right, it's time for you niggas to wrap it up." So I'm going to let me thank the Spotify listeners, the Apple Podcast listeners.
Shut the fuck up!
Oh Lord. Yes, your mic's still on.
This is the fucking greatest podcast.
Oh, my mic is still on? I cut it off.
Well, we heard it.
He said, shut the fuck up. Yo, Spotify listeners, the Apple Podcast listeners, the Google Podcast
real nigga shit.
Stitcher listeners,
it was really
Anchor listeners.
It was really ignorant.
Anchor listeners, the YouTube viewers. Remember, get at us on IG at Mr_Know-It-All_pod. Yes. That's on IG, Facebook at the Mr. Know-It-All, the Mr. Know-It-All podcast on fan page on Facebook. And please send all your fuckery, duckery, schmuckery, and hussery. Don't know what that is, but send it all to the Gmail page, Mr. Know-It-All-Pod at gmail.com. Mr. Know-It-All-Pod at gmail.com.
Yo.
He about to kill that dog. See, that's what I'm saying, man. Chill out, bro. I kick the shit. Listen. Oh, man. My dog gets on my nerves like that, too.
It's the goddamn puppy.
I know. It's how it always is.
Well, my dog at least showed me some love today, because I went to the store and she came downstairs looking for me and I was gone. Oh, when I came in, I was in the kitchen. And she got led through the front door. She went straight to the kitchen.
Yo, do y'all have, let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all dogs, boy dogs eat?
I don't know. I have a girl
underwear?
dog, so.
Yeah, do they eat women's used underwear?
Dogs, period, yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck is
that? No.
Oh my God.
No. I've dealt with females who've had boy dogs.
Right.
Who've eaten the crotches.
But it's not just a boy dog. It's
the girls
dogs.
do it too?
I got girls.
My dog.
Oh yeah, I can't such.
It's only boys.
My underwear. My hamper has holes in it, and so there was a pair of underwear. And somehow, some way, just and tore it up. I was like, you know what, my door is locked.
That dog look like
I gave Sasha a haircut.
That dog look like she was candy.
This is Sasha. Now this is the one. She don't make no noise. She be chilling.
Yeah, Sasha be chilling.
It gotta be something serious for her to make some noise. It's that damn puppy.
You've all met Coach and Sadie. You know what I'm saying?
trying. Yeah, I got the marks.
Coach has bitten Kelly. Yeah, Coach has bitten Kelly.
Coach tried to get me one time.
Was like, you need to go to the hospital and get a tetanus shot.
Yeah,
I'm like, I think.
I really do apologize for that. I apologize for that, Kelly. Did not mean.
Well, we kind of ran into each other. She ran underneath my foot, so I kind of stepped on her foot.
You should have kicked the shit out of him. At least you did something. Should have kicked the shit out of him.
But it wasn't. But she didn't.
You should have kicked him. Fuck that dog. I hate
him. Look, if Flower was down here, she'd be looking dead in the camera at you.
The 2 times that coach tried to get me, and once was when I lived across the street, and the other was one of the times I came to the podcast. It was after he had been smelling my hand, and I went to move my hand.
Why did you move it? That's your fault.
Nah,
to walk the hell off. And both times I said, "Look,
still recording?
Yes,
we still record. We are
talking our noise. Yes, we are.
Listen, I'm glad to see everybody. I'm glad to see everybody's back in a good mood and whatnot. On behalf of my constituents, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning to the Mr. Know-It-All podcast. On behalf of myself, Mr. Know-It-All, R. Rizada, Smurfette, Smurf, your name is going to be Smurfette in this episode.
Your name is now her. Your
it is going to be Smurfette.
That is your new AKA.
Watch what I do today. Go ahead.
She gonna put on the Smurfs.
We love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight, and it will be successful. And you cannot forget.
Always.
And you must always remember.
And never forget.